Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi here. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. Brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware at 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, New York. In southwest Suffolk County on Long Island, serving the entire New York, New Jersey, Connecticut tri-state area with everything that you need to make sure your home looks great, functions well, and can stand up to adverse weather and keep you protected. Also, remember, with winter coming, Long Island's largest rock salt source, 631-756-1125 for the best prices anywhere. OmniTrueValue.com is the website. Okay, we've got the weekend underway, and we're still in a bit of a sweet spot here. We have what looks like mostly clear skies to start the day up and down the eastern seaboard, but there are a couple of things to point out here. First off, out to the east. Normally we look to the west to see where our weather is coming from, but you get into these situations sometimes where it comes out from the east. And the red line that you see here, this goes back to a number of days ago when we had a cold front move on through, and that just basically a stalled frontal boundary that's been sitting out there and weakening. And there are little ripples that are moving along in the atmosphere, and of course that's producing some rain. And you can see here there's a growing area of clouds well offshore, and normally we wouldn't really be too concerned with this sort of stuff because it always likes to move to the northeast. But what we're going to see is low pressure develop on the western edge of this cloud cover, and that low is going to move northward during tonight and for Sunday. But until then, we're in good shape today. The skies are going to be nice and sunny here in the eastern part of the United States, and actually going all the way back into the plains, it looks terrific. All of this you see here in the Northern Rockies. We've got the season's first snowstorm in the United States. And in fact, when we look at the watches and warnings map, you can see a ton of winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories up for Montana, Idaho, down into parts of Wyoming, Colorado, and Utah. And this is going to be an interesting snow system. It's also going to bring severe weather risk tomorrow to parts of the central plains and even into the northern plains there, in eastern South Dakota, eastern Nebraska, down into northeastern Kansas. Slight risk of severe weather and even a 2% tornado risk. And the snow. Here is the probability of at least 2 inches, and in the reds we're talking about 95% probability. I'm just going to jump this up to the probability for at least 8. And you can see the patches here of 50% or higher in the blues, showing a 50% or higher probability for at least 8 in parts of Montana, Idaho, and also into parts of northwestern Wyoming. There's probably going to be some 1-foot snows there. But that is not our issue. That is their issue. And as far as the radar is concerned, you can see it's quiet here in the east, up and down the eastern seaboard from Maine to Florida and back west of the Mississippi River. And then you start to get into the precipitation that is moving through the northern Rockies and into the northwest. Actually, the radar here is pretty impressive in terms of the scope of how much precip is showing up. Normally, you look up here and you see patches of precip here and there. This is a pretty widespread area with this particular storm system. Now, here we are for the weather for this weekend and for early next week, which is going to really hinge on what's going on offshore more than anything else. Obviously, no rainfall forecast today. For a good large portion of the country, no precipitation anyway. For that tomorrow, we start to see, this is WPC, so this is the forecast period from tonight 8 p.m. till Sunday evening 8 p.m. and the dark green is at least 1/4 of an inch, and that runs from Boston to about New York City to southwestern New Jersey to say, let's say Millville, into Delaware around Wilmington, and then it continues southward from there. The lighter green is 1/10 of an inch, and the lightest green is 0.01. So at least from the world of WPC, it looks like we're going to get at least some rain tomorrow, but not particularly heavy rain. The darker blues start to approach southeastern New England, and that'll be mostly for Sunday night and Monday, where some areas could get at least 3/4 of an inch to 1 1/4 inches, and that half-inch line backs across Long Island to about just touching New York City, with lesser amounts again to the west. Now, I don't think this is an all-day rain that we're talking about. Certainly, just to back up for today, it's going to be just a nice sunny day. We're going to have temperatures that are going to be running in the mid and upper 60s, probably some warm spots will make a run for 70 degrees. And then you'll see, I'll just back it up here on the HRRR model. You've got this low that forms off the southeast coast. This is not a tropical storm, by the way, just to be clear. This is not going to be a tropical storm. This is not a warm core system. There's just not enough time. It would need to sit out here for several days in order to warm up and become something more, something tropical. But it doesn't matter from our purposes. The weather outcome is going to be the same. This is tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. You see that arc of rain offshore that extends from east to west to back, just touching southern New Jersey, the southern New Jersey coast of the Delaware coast. The first band of rain comes in during the morning, moving northwestward. It's mostly light. Then there's a break. Then there's another band that comes in later in the afternoon and evening. Then a break, and then maybe a third band with some heavier rain coming in during Sunday night. And again, the emphasis will be more to the east and less to the west in terms of volume of rainfall. I think by Monday morning, we'll probably just have lingering clouds and lingering showers, and just a quick idea of what happens next week. Well, not a whole heck of a lot changes. We still have what we refer to as an inverted trough set up here off the east coast, and that means lower pressures to the south. It's going to have a tendency to want to send lows perhaps northward. We've got this Plains and Rockies storm that's going to be coming east at some point. If you're far enough inland, the weather is going to be terrific. If you're close to the coast, it might be a different story. You can see from Monday, some scattered showers coming in from off the ocean. Still going to have that risk there on Tuesday, and then we'll have a frontal system probably coming along about Wednesday into Thursday. Models are handling it all differently, and we're going to focus in more on this later today when we do a little long range and on the Joe and Joe Weather Show tomorrow, Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Weather in 5, brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware, 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, New York. The telephone number is 631-756-1125 for the best prices in town. OmniTrueValue.com is the website. Joe and Joe Show Sunday, 11 a.m. on my YouTube channel. Also, don't forget, if you haven't downloaded the Meteorologist Joe Cioffi free weather app, do so for Google Play or the App Store, and also the Angry Ben's Angry Weather app. A lot of you follow both of us, so you can download that. Also now available for iPhone, so you can download that on Google Play or on the App Store. Have a great weekend. Certainly enjoy your Saturday while the weather is in good shape here before we start to deal with issues on Sunday.